So now we come to discuss about the structure and composition of a cell. Okay. So structure and composition of a cell. See, a cell primarily consists of three parts. Okay, that is number one, cell membrane, nucleus, and cytoplasm. Cell membrane is present in case of both, that is plant cell as well as animal cell. But there is an exception, that cell wall is present only in plant cell. Okay, and this cell wall is constituted of cellulose. That's why it provides mechanical support or mechanical strength to the plant. Okay, cell wall composed of cellulose. That is why it provides mechanical strength to the plants, and it also protects inner coverings and inner organelles of a plant body and cell. That is cell wall. Okay, it is protective layer. So first of all we will start with the discussion of cell membrane or plasma membrane, because cell membrane is also known by the name of plasma membrane or cytoplasm membrane. This cell membrane is known by two other names, that is plasma membrane or one more name, cytoplasm membrane. Okay, all the three are the names given for the same membrane. Okay, and now see, we let us rub this, then we will discuss. See, cell membrane or plasma membrane is a layer which is porous in nature. Porous means a layer through which water can percolate easily or pass easily. Okay, so plasma membrane is also known as selectively permeable membrane, because it can pass some of the particles to come inside the cell, and at the same time it restricts other particles to enter inside the cell, and it also permits the exit of some of the particles from inside the cell towards outer environment. That's why it is known as selectively permeable membrane. Okay, see, transportation or the exchange of materials from the cell with its environment takes place through the process of diffusion and osmosis. Okay, there is a basic difference between osmosis and diffusion. Okay, see, the exchange of particles through all the three medium, that is solid, liquid and gases, takes place in the case of diffusion, but the process of diffusion takes place in all the three states of matter, that is solid, liquid and gas. So diffusion encompasses a broader meaning than osmosis. Okay, because osmosis is also a kind of diffusion. Okay, so in other terms we can also say that plasma membrane is the outermost protective layer which is porous in nature and selectively permeable, which separates the contents within a cell from its external environment. Okay, and the structure of this cell membrane is fluid mosaic model. See, the structure of cell membrane or plasma membrane resembles fluid mosaic model. Okay, see, let me make the diagram here. This is glycolipid bilayer, and in between this there are protein molecules. There are protein molecules, carbohydrates, these are carbohydrates, this is protein. So it resembles the shape of a mosaic. Mosaic resembles the same shape, or we have here it has been used the term mosaic, because in mosaic what happens, we see in some of the houses we see that floors are made mosaic. Okay, means some colorful pebbles are embedded in the floors to look it to give it a colorful look. Okay, so here this is fluid mosaic model. Okay, see, lipid means fat. Okay, so this is the structure of cell membrane is cell membrane consists of glycolipids bilayer, in which carbohydrates and proteins are embedded. Okay, now we will see the gaseous exchange as well as fluid exchange through the plasma membrane. Gaseous exchange as well as fluid exchange through plasma membrane. Okay, that how it happens. Let us see. See, now we will see the gaseous exchange that takes place in the plasma membrane, and these gases are basically carbon dioxide and oxygen. Okay, and this takes place, we all know that, in the process of diffusion. This takes place through the process of diffusion, gaseous exchange. So in the process of diffusion we generally see that there is exchange of gases from the higher concentration towards lower concentration, from a region which is at higher concentration towards a region which is low at concentration. Okay, so see, when there is accumulation of excess of carbon dioxide gases, we should assume the examples of gases. Example of gases like carbon dioxide and see, I have taken the examples of two gases, that is carbon dioxide and oxygen, that are part of our respiration or that are part of our inhalation. But apart from these two gases, there are several other gases that we inhale, like nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide, etc. But I have not taken their names because these two gases are major constituents of the gases that we inhale. That's why. and for the sake of our convenience also I have taken the examples of only these two gases. See what happens that when we inhale carbon dioxide inside our body, then the accumulation of carbon dioxide inside our cell gets increased, or we can say that there is a formation of higher concentration of carbon dioxide inside a cell in respect to the external environment, where there is accumulation of or there is development of only low concentration of carbon dioxide. Outside the cell there is low concentration of carbon dioxide than inside the cell, where it is higher concentration. So as part of the rule of the diffusion, that we all know that there is movement of gases from a region of higher concentration towards a region of lower concentration. Okay, so since there is development of higher pressure or higher concentration carbon dioxide is developed inside the cell, therefore when we exhale gas, there is exit of carbon dioxide from inside the cell towards external environment. This is the logic. Okay, and similar is the logic for oxygen also. Now we come to discuss about osmosis. See, as I have already discussed, that diffusion is a process which involves all the three states of matter. That is, it can take place among solids, liquids and gases as well. So, movement of water molecules is also, or we can say that movement of water also obeys the diffusion law. Wherever there is movement of water between the cells or through the plasma membrane, we can say that wherever there is the movement of water through the plasma membrane, there is a process known by the name of osmosis, though it is also a process of diffusion. Okay, because diffusion is a process which encompasses within itself the process of osmosis also. See, before we move forward, let me explain few terms like what is solute, solvent and what is solution. Okay, so solute is the things, or the solute are the items which we dissolve in any solvent. Okay, solvent is a liquid. We can say that it can be water, okay, or alcohol. These are what? Solvent. And solution, where we dissolve salt or sugar, that is solute. Sugar or salt is an example of solute. When we dissolve sugar or salt in water, then a solution is prepared. So now let me describe process of osmosis. So see, there can be three kind of media in which osmosis takes place. These three are osmosis: hypotonic, isotonic and hypertonic. So see, there is one formula to determine the concentration of solution. That is, see, concentration of solution. Concentration of solution is equal to amount of solute by amount of solvent. See, solute, I have discussed that solute are the particles that we dissolve in any liquid medium, and solvent is the state of matter in which the solute are dissolved. That is, it could be water or fat or alcohol. Okay, so concentration of solution means amount of solute by amount of solvent. Okay, so by using this formula we can get the concentration of a solution. Okay, so in this case we have to get that the solution is either hypotonic, isotonic or hypertonic. So in the case of hypotonic medium, if there will be presence of more and more dissolved solutes inside a cell and in respect to the outside surrounding, or we can say that outside environment, then the solution will be known as hypotonic, because the outside medium will be what? Diluted, because more and more salt is dissolved in a cell, then outside the cell will be diluted solution. Then what will happen? The movement of water will take place from the outside the cell towards the cell, and movement of solution, that is water and the dissolved solute, will take from inside the cell towards outside the cell, means external environment. So in hypotonic solution there will always be diluted solution outside the cell, or we can say that outside the external environment. There will be diluted solution towards external environment. Okay, and when we assume the this medium isotonic, means there will be no movement of liquid from either outside the cell environment or from within the cell. There will be no exchange of water from within the cell towards the external environment, or from the external environment towards the inside the cell, because there is proportionality, or there is no difference in concentration of solution. We can say that there is no difference in concentration of solution. Therefore the solution is isotonic, means there is no development of either higher concentration solution and lower concentration solution, or from higher concentration of water and lower concentration of water. There is no such thing. Therefore there will be no movement of water. Okay, and the solution will be constant. And in the case of hypertonic, it will be just reverse of hypotonic. In the case of hypertonic, there will be just it will be hypertonic medium will be just reverse of hypotonic. In this case, inside the cell, means solution inside the cell will be dilute, and outside the cell, means external environment of the cell, will be concentrated solution, means solute will be dissolved more in quantity than the quantity of solute dissolved inside the cell. Okay, so there will be development of a difference in concentration of solution. Okay, there will be difference of concentration of solution from inside the cell towards external environment of the cell. External environment will be having or possessing higher concentrated solution than inside the cell. As a result, there will be movement of water from inside the cell towards external environment of the cell. Okay, as a result of movement of water through the cell, or we can say that from inside the cell towards its external environment, there will be shrinkage. There will be shrinkage in the cell. In case of hypertonic solution, there will be shrinkage of cell in case of hypertonic solution, and in case of hypotonic solution there will be swelling of cell, because the movement of water took place from outside the cell towards the cell, because the medium was diluted outside the cell, and the cell inside the cell the environment was concentrated solution was present. Okay, and reverse is the case with hypertonic solution. So here it will be shrinkage, it will lead to further shrinkage of the cell. Okay, because here the outside the cell medium, or we can say that outside the cell external environment will be of higher concentration, or we can say that a higher concentrated solution will be present available outside the cell, and inside the cell will be diluted solution. Therefore shrinkage of cell will take place. Okay, and to perform and to do these things, or we can do these things by experiment also, and the things that we require to do this experiment are cheaply available in our home also. To see the result of swelling and shrinkage of cell, we can do this experiment in our home also. Okay, as the things required are available abundantly in our home. Okay, so experiment, things required, dried resins. See, resins means kismis, or we can say that resins means kismis. It is available abundantly in our home. So dried resin, a glass full of water and another glass full of water with salt or sugar dissolved in it. See, what the things we require are: take few resins and a glass full of water and another glass full of water, but some solutes like sugar or salt should be dissolved in that, so that we are preparing a medium, means in which we have dissolved sugar or salt. We are preparing a medium that is concentrated solution. We are preparing concentrated solution. Okay. So what happens that when we soak resins in a water which is fresh and nothing has been dissolved in that. So when we soak resins in a plain water, then what happens that after some time the resins get swollen. Okay, resins get swollen. But after some time, when we again soak that resins in another tumbler or glass, that in which we have dissolved sugar or salt, then what happens that after some time we see that there is shrinkage of resins. Okay, there is shrinkage of resins. It proves that the water was expelled from the resin again. Okay, in the medium where salt or sugar was dissolved in water. Okay, we could see that shrinkage again prevails in the resins when we soak it inside the water in which we have dissolved salt or sugar. Okay, so this shows that in the higher concentration, whatever the movement of water takes place in reverse direction. Okay.